It's fine. It's all right. It's honestly, I'm not even sure why I'm doing this because there's almost nothing interesting to talk about when it comes to this season. This season of Luke Cage is actually pretty comparable to the second season of Jessica Jones, where almost nothing really happens. It's very slow, it's very plotting, and it just deals with a lot of character development and not much action really happens. And it's okay, I actually enjoyed most of it. The main problem with this season is that whereas I felt like Jessica Jones was, kept it interesting throughout most of the season, this season of Luke Cage, it drags, and it drags badly. And I feel like with this being on Netflix, it shouldn't be an issue. I really don't understand why they feel the need to have every single season of these Marvel Netflix shows be 13 episodes, with, of course, Defenders was 8. But, I don't understand why they feel the need to, have a certain number of episodes per season when they're not on cable. It's not like the CWDC shows where they have to have a certain number of episodes because they have to have a certain number of ad spots, to recoup their money back. Netflix is making this. They already have their money. There's no downside to, cutting down the number of episodes. Because, man, the Netflix shows, all of them have spots where it drags, because they have to get to 13 episodes. But this season of Luke Cage was so slow. I almost didn't finish it. I almost did not finish the season. It's frustrating. Because there's good stuff in here. I was actually surprised with how much I enjoyed the characters and the character development. But, it just gets to a point where 13 episodes wasn't enough. I mean, not that it wasn't enough, it was more than enough to tell the story that they were trying to tell. But let me get into stuff that I liked about this season. Mike Coulter as Luke Cage, he's good. He's really good as Luke Cage, and he does carry the show. And I enjoy watching him on screen. I will give this to Luke Cage. Whereas in Iron Fist was bad. But on top of that, you have a main character that you just don't care about. You care about Luke Cage, and you like Mike Coulter as Luke Cage. At least I do. And so he's good. Rosario Dawson as Claire, she's quite good. Although I kind of feel like Rosario Dawson is trying to wedge herself out of these Netflix series. When you see the season, there's something that happens, and then something else near the end that really makes me think that she doesn't want to be a part of these Netflix series anymore. Yeah, and Misty Knight, I don't know the actress's name. She's good. The lady who plays Mariah, it's weird. It's she's good sometimes, but then there are points where she's supposed to be angry or scared, where she just overacts. But it works, I guess. It works in the same way that the lady from Stranger Things worked. The guy that plays Shades, he's a bit too cartoony for me, but it's all right. He works. Yeah, most of the characters in this season work. Oh yeah, and the villain's actually really good. When I saw one trailer for this, and when I saw the villain, I thought he was gonna come off as a bit corny, and just sort of whatever. But he was pretty good. His backstory, I did notice that his backstory is pretty much the same backstory as Killmonger from Black Panther. When you watch the show, you'll see what I mean, because it's not quite exactly the same thing, obviously, but it's pretty similar. It's it's very similar. Overall, I guess I will say, because I would say that this season is probably better than the first one, because for me, the first season of Luke Cage, it was pretty good at the beginning, and then it just took a drop. It took a drop when they introduced a villain, that villain, the guy who turned into a Power Ranger at the end of the movie. That was bad. That was awful. This season, weirdly, I feel like it gets better as it goes along, to the point where it reaches a climax that I think is good. And also, like, the last episode, and this is, I'm not going to spoil anything, but the last episode is actually really good. And it sort of leaves it on a note, a very interesting note that made me interested in watching another season of the show, because it just sort of leaves things that I didn't expect at all. I mean, I don't know, and I don't know anything about Luke Cage in the comic book, so I guess I don't know if this is what everything has been leading to, but yeah, like, the season ends, for me at least, with me being intrigued to see what happens next. And that's the frustrating thing about the season, man. Like, I know I've talked about this a lot, because, like, now that I finished it, when I look back at the season, like, I think about it with, pleasant thoughts of me, like, oh yeah, I enjoyed what this season did. The problem is that it drags. It just drags so long. Like, this did not, like, most of the Netflix series do not need to be 13 episodes. This one, I think, is the one that this could have been 5 or 6 episodes. I honestly believe that, because the story that they told in here did not need to span 13. And yeah, like, it's a shame. It really is a shame that they put this, this quota on themselves when it's on Netflix. Like, you're not running ads. The like Netflix has money coming in from their subscriptions. I don't understand why they put this quota on themselves. But anyways, again, like, when I look back on the season, I enjoyed most of what was there. It's just that it was dragged out way too long. But yeah, I mean, honestly, look, I feel like we're at the point now with these Netflix series that you're either in with them or you're not. So, I mean, if you've enjoyed all the Netflix series so far, like, if you've watched them and you've enjoyed them, then yeah, this is more of that. More Marvel Netflix. And it's good. And this season was quite solid. It was just dragged on too long. So, yeah, if you watched it, let me know. Am I wrong? Is it awful? Am I wrong? Is it amazing? The best thing you've ever seen in your life? I don't know. Let me know. Subscribe. Goodbye.